I was like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. I respect that, and I will do that. But my current situation cannot allow me to do that. And I was like, all right, sister. And then hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is I, your girl, Sandra Peachy MW, coming back to you with another video. So it is in the morning, but I need to shoot this video so that I can get it out today. So you're gonna see this today. So today's video, I'm gonna give you a short story time of why I had to move and what happened for me to get kicked out of my beautiful studio apartment that I loved. It's not the best thing in the world. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was my place and I loved it so much. So if you're interested in hearing why I got kicked out of my first studio apartment, carry on with me in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to help a broke girl out, there are ways to do that down below. And press that big join button right next to the subscribe button down below. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so about 4 months ago, I moved to my previous place in Fargo. You know, like the whole series, I did a whole moving series, how to find a house in Malawi, you know, where to get stuff if you want to move, and like moving, if you want to watch all of that, here the links are up there somewhere. So I moved into that place and I stayed there for about 3 months. I was okay with where I lived. I loved it. I know a lot of people had issues with it. Were like, oh, Sandra, the kitchen is outside. You don't have a kitchen. You don't have a door to your bathroom. Your bathroom was like, there were comments like that, but it was my place, my first place, and I loved it so much. I didn't have issues with anything, okay? So whether you were getting heart attacks because of my place, I'm sorry, but I was comfortable with it. And so I'm standing up. Why am I standing up? And so I decided that I'm gonna settle here until further notice, until I want a bigger space to like expand, because I didn't have money to expand at that moment. So I was chilled. My landlady was a tenant. I mean, the landlords were tenants, but they didn't tell me they were tenants, you know what I mean? So I was essentially a tenant of a tenant, but I didn't know about it until the maid told me that, look, are you related to these people? And I was like, no, why? And she was like, the landlord came here and they were asking about you. And I was like, what do you mean the landlord? And she was like, the landlord, the owner of the place. So these people are tenants, and they told the landlord that you are a relative, because apparently the landlord wants, if you rent out the unit, like the house, you had to rent out the boys' quarters too, and like use it for your maid or stuff like that. But they rented out and started making money out of it. And I was chilled. I was like, oh, okay, if the arrangement is working, let's not like hassle it, let's not do anything. I continued staying there. Granted, there were some disadvantages of living in Fargo. One of them was being that the transportation from my house to town, there was buses that came from Segerege going to town, but those buses usually were full when going to town. And for me to get a bus from from town to go to Segerege, which would leave me at a bus stop somewhere near my house, they were further away from my workplace. So I ended up having a solution of paying a taxi guy. So I paid a taxi guy like 20,000 to be taking me from work to home and from home to work, and that was convenient and that was working for me, and everything was fine. Granted, we're moving, we're living, you know, life is good, life is chilled. And then the maid comes to me again and she's like, remember yesterday, because I passed her and she was holding a lot of boxes and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, so you look busy. And she's like, yeah, you know, I'll come see you. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, this is not my maid, mind you, because yeah, I don't have money for a maid. So I see the maid and she's like, I'll come see you. And I was like, okay, chilled. So I pass and I go to my place, and she comes later and she's like, okay, so these guys are moving and they don't want me to tell you. So in my head, I'm like, you know, sorry, I'm playing with my hair. I'm like, you know, like, why? You know, and I didn't know what to do. I asked my aunt. I had lunch with my aunt and her friends. I was like, what do I do? And they're like, you know what, Sandra, you can just chill, and like if that actually happens, because we don't know if this is fact. Because also the maid is chatty, like she's chatty, and sometimes some of the things she says are not the actual truth. So I was like, okay, cool, let me chill. And then on the 22nd of September, yeah, on the 22nd of September, in the morning, the landlady tells me, oh, I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, cool. She comes through to my house and she's like, we are moving. She gave this excuse that they have a contract, like they found an offer or something like that, so it's a sudden move, and I would have to move out too. I was like, why can't I just stay? Like, why can't the landlord, like I can continue paying the landlord? And you know, she gave her reasons, and I think it killed my vibe. I was like, okay, I'm gonna move. So mind you, I've been given 8 days notice for moving, and I don't have any money, because moving requires money, because you have to find a place, pay for that place, you need to pay for agents to help you find a place, you need time, you need to pay for a truck, you need so much to move, you know what I mean? And I didn't have money. So I complained to my aunt. Oh, but I had some kind of money. I had like 100 and so thousand in my bank account. So I complained to my aunt. I'm like, look, I need to move. I don't have enough money. So my aunt shares me like another 200 grand. No, 100,000. Not shares, she loans. She loans me 100,000. And I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Start paying agents, because Gift at that time was busy. So I had to actually find another agent, and Gift usually, like, I just pay him for the commission, not the viewing, because we know each other. And so Gift, if you don't know Gift is the agent from my previous video. So then I looked for places. I hated most of the places, which a house viewing video. So where was I got a phone call. So then yeah, so I had to pay agents, and I looked at places. There's a house viewing video coming up after this video. Actually, we're gonna go viewing, house viewing. Look forward to that. And yeah, I don't know what to say. So I was looking for a place. It took me, I had to get a place before the 30th, and I found out on the 22nd. So it took me about 4 days to find a place. And I got the place. Like, I talked to the lady, the owner of the place, who is also a tenant. So I'm also a tenant of a tenant. And she tunes me like, okay, cool, you have to pay 3 months rent. I was like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. I respect that, and I will do that. But my current situation cannot allow me to do that, because 3 months rent is over 300,000. I don't have 300,000. So can we come to an agreement or something like that? So she was like, okay, pay 2 months. I was like, okay, I'll pay you 2 months, but I will pay 2 months in 2 installments. So I had the money I got from my aunt. I paid that first rent like on the 26th or 8th, no, yeah, 26th. And then when month end came by and I got my salary, I then you know, paid the second installment, you know. But I also told her, look, I want to pay the 3 months because I don't want this rent and my parents' rent to clash. So because if I do start paying 3 months in December, that is clashing with my parents' rent, and I don't have that kind of money to be paying 2 rents at once for 3 months, you know what I mean? So she was like, okay, chill. So this month end I will be paying her the last installment, which makes January my rent month, like my next rent due for 3 months. I mean, that's how we solved the situation. And then now it was time to move. Okay, moving was a stress, was a hassle, because I didn't have enough money. I told the curtain guys from my previous video, the curtain kings, I was like, I don't have cash, but you know me, we know each other, I will give you your cash, but can you help me move, because I don't currently have cash right now. So let me move, like uninstall everything, because I couldn't do that myself. Uninstall everything and then take it to the new house on the 2nd. And this guy was tripping, so It was weird. He didn't want to do that. Oh, and another thing that happened with my previous landlord was that she texted me on the 28th or something. She's like, look, we have a new place and there's a house there. So if you want to move, like there's another smaller house. If you want to move, you can come through with us. I was like, nah, not after what you did. No, thank you. Because I had already spent a lot of money. And I was like, it's too late now, you know what I mean? Yeah, so the curtain guys are tripping. And then this lady is like telling me this nonsense. And I was like, no. And then I told her, okay, fine, I found a place, right? But I can't be out on Friday because I work. I'm working. You know what I mean? I'll be back home in the evening. So I don't want to move in the evening. I live alone. I don't have anyone to help me with all of that. And I'm going to hire some men to help me move. I don't want to be with those men in the middle of the night, men I don't know, to my new place. You know what I mean? And so can I move on Saturday, which is the 2nd? And this lady's like, no, you can't move on Saturday because we have to be out on the 1st. We have to give away the keys by the 1st, which is Friday. Can't you move at night? And I explained to her, look, you made me move when I didn't want to move. You didn't give me a month notice. I didn't say anything. I just agreed. Now I'm just asking for this one favor, that I move on Saturday morning. I'll be out Saturday morning. What's the big issue? And this lady was refusing. And then she stopped replying to me. Now tell me why on Friday night these guys are not moved out. Because I had decided that I am not going anywhere. You know, I'm gonna stay in the place. And if anything, they can't drag me out. So I have the keys to the place. I will move on Saturday morning. And this lady and her family is still there on Saturday.
And
you know, I even moved in the morning. Well, these guys were still there because I want to leave the keys in the evening because of something I'll explain just now. But they were still there. So I asked her, I'm like, why wouldn't you let me move on Saturday? Like, don't you like me? Do you hate me? Like, what's the issues?
Like, you still didn't like me. You been not like me because you judge women like me. What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
Do you hate me? And she was like, oh no, the landlord said it's okay, we can move. She gave us this space to move. And I was like, all right, sister. And then I had issues with, I told you, the curtain guys. I had issues with the Wi-Fi guys because they were not coming to take the things. I had to give back the keys, so I had to fight with those guys. And I think it was an issue of money because I didn't have money. But then I found some cash and I told the curtain guy, can you get my curtains? I'll give you your money. And when I talk about efficiency, they were so efficient after I mentioned that I'll give them money. Fine. Then the Wi-Fi guys were tripping. They took the Wi-Fi, brought it here, and then just left it on the floor. You know, left it on the floor. They came 3 days later to install it in the roof. So that was a mess. But yeah, I'm finally in my new place, and that's the story of how I got kicked out without warning and was given 8 days to move out. But you know, right now, this year, after such a horrible year, I'm trying to look at things positively all the time. If I did not get kicked out, I wouldn't have gotten this place, which I love. It's a bigger place and it's encouraging me to grow and buy things that, you know, will fill up my home and develop me even further. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the growth and we appreciate the learning experience. So that's how I got here. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And we are almost at 3,000 subscribers, guys. We are almost at 3,000 subscribers. So let's push. Let's subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and let's hit the 3K. See you in the next house hunting video, and then after that it's the moving video. So we are back in the moving series. Bye, guys.